Ladies and gentlemen, I'm with the pride of Oakland, California, the 2007 NL MVP, 2008 World Series champion, three-time All-Star, four-time Gold Glove winner, TBS analyst, the greatest shortstop in Philadelphia Phillies history, and now a betPARX brand ambassador. Ladies and gentlemen, number 11, Jimmy Rollins.
Man, that was a lot going on there. You make me feel like I'm special around this place.
You are special, Jimmy. You are very, very special. Jimmy, I'm going to jump right into it. For the first time in 11 years, to the date, this Friday, the Phillies will play a postseason game. During all those incredible Phillies teams from 2007 through 2011, I remember something my dad always used to say. He said, enjoy this because it only comes around so often. I didn't think it would take this long, but I got to ask you, J-Roll, what does this long overdue Red October mean to the franchise and to the fans of Philadelphia?
Well, I'll start first because what does it mean to the players? You know, we always talk about the fans and the franchise, but it's the guys on the field that make it happen. You know, they put out there, from spring training, what they want their goal to be. And for some teams, it's not realistic. This team, it was realistic from the beginning, and it was something that they had to build and believe. From a managerial switch, the players jumped on with Thompson, Tompy as they call him, Thompson, and he changed the whole atmosphere in there, and they bought into it. As they bought into it, they started to see the results. They saw the results. Then they started to believe again that, you know what, we are a playoff bound team. We can put the past behind us. We have, I think at that point, maybe 80 something games left in the season. Let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can make happen. And then they did it. And through that, the organization has made the right moves. They were able to bring in a piece or two here that they felt would help. We're talking about Marsh, getting the last out to get the team to the playoff. Eflin, who was the guy I was traded for, the pitcher on the mound. I was traded for to get, you know what I'm
2014.
saying? So I mean, look
How do you
how it
feel
all
about
worked
that,
out.
Jimmy?
Look how it
It's
all
all
worked
come
out.
full circle, man.
Dombrowski, doing his thing, and then of course the fans. They're the biggest part of it. They show up when it's raining. They show up when it's cold. They show up when it's August and 105 degrees, and they sit in those seats sweating, eating Bulls barbecue and probably some water ice. So it's a team effort, but it starts with the guys on the field. They have to build this belief. You build the belief, the organization starts to believe, they start to follow and make the moves, and then the fans jump on. We know it doesn't matter whether you're in Philadelphia, Los Angeles, or anywhere in between. If you believe something and you give the fans something to believe, they'll show up. So, Phillies fans, Red October is back. No reason to not be there. Let's get out there, represent the P.
Let's get those rally towels going, baby.
Yeah, get them going. All that dust in the air coming off the towels.
Let's go.
They've been sitting for a while.
They have been sitting for a while. And Jimmy, you said you got to believe that's what we're going through right now. You were part of some fairly young, inexperienced teams heading into the playoffs back in 2007. For guys like Nola, Hoskins, Segura, these guys have waited a long time for this. Do you think they believe? Are they believing? Are they ready?
I think they are now. I think they were hopeful, and that's why you kind of teeter totter. You get there and you're hopeful, and hope just means if the wind blows in the right direction, we're jumping on it. If it blows in the wrong direction, we're going the other way. When you believe, it doesn't matter. It's irregardless of wind direction. It's irregardless of what people are saying. It's irregardless of pressure. We have one focus. We believe we can do this, and it doesn't matter what happens, who gets injured along the way. We have what it takes. I don't know how, but it's going to get done. And when you can do that, I'm telling you, it becomes contagious. The organization, like these guys in the clubhouse, believe they can win. So we have to make the moves that keeps that going. The fans show up because they're giving us something to show up for every single night. As fans, we don't know who's going to be the star, but we want to be there. And so it's definitely something contagious. And I think once you cross that threshold of getting to the playoffs, that pressure goes away. You know what it's like. You know the sacrifice. You know the grind. Then you know you're good enough. Then you believe.
I think they were really starting to believe last night during the celebration. Looked like those guys were having a really good time.
As
Any
they
advice or
as they should. And and I mean,
absolutely?
hey, shout out and congratulations to Gene Segura. I mean, he could take that
That's
title
my man.
off his back. He could take that title as the longest tenured player to not make the playoffs. That's done. It's over with. So congratulations, and I'm happy for him.
Mean Gene, the hitting machine. Gotta love him. Any advice for some of the young guys? Bryson Stott going to be the shortstop probably to start on Friday. Any advice for some of these guys heading into their first postseason?
I always told this to guys as they would ask. The first time you go there, I mean, when we went as a group, I remember Chase and I, like, do we try to bring ourselves down because we're naturally going to get up, or do we get up and just ride that wave, not knowing what to do? And we got knocked off real quick. We made up for it the next year, but we got knocked off real quick. What I learned is, because it's the postseason, because every pitch matters more, every win or loss matters more, become more aggressive. Let that energy in. Don't try to block it. Feel it. Look up in a crowd. Look at the towels waving around. Listen to that energy and let that feed you, because you're already going to be on edge. You're already going to be, nervous. But then as you look into the crowd, these people are here for a show. This is baseball. The pitcher doesn't go from 95 to 100 just because it's the playoffs. The balls don't go 450 feet to 500 feet because it's the playoffs. It's the same game. More important, yes, you're going to be up. You're going to be more alert. Your focus is going to be more centered on what it needs to be centered for, whether it's this pitch, this at bat, making this defensive move, communicating. I got the bat. You got all those things are amplified. You focus that much more. But the game itself is still a game of baseball. He has to throw it. You have to hit it. And if he does, hopefully, if you're hitting it, it doesn't get caught. But when it comes your way, you make the catch.
Jimmy says, let it eat. I know Kyle Schwarber, he's going to let it eat. I hope the rest of these guys follow suit. Listen, is there a team you think the Phils want to play right now in the first round? Who would you want to play?
Well, fortunately now we have brackets. So if you're the Phillies, you only have 5 wins against the Mets. I don't think you want them early. And
I don't think so.
I want
to avoid the ground. I want to stay away from the ground.
You look at St. Louis, and you have 4 out of 7 wins against them. They're not a cakewalk either. Don't get me wrong, but
hard to play there in St. Louis.
And look, we have had many chances to beat the Mets. For some reason, we can't do it this year. If I could push them off, I could push them off a little later. Hey, let us hopefully get a series win under our belt. This is what it's like to win a series. Now you're going in with a lot more confidence. Not that they're not going to be all ready, but it's tough to say, we want to play a team that beat us 14 times in 19 games. You never want to ask for that.
Now, let me ask you this. There's some baseball fans out there that are saying the Phillies are backing into the playoffs a little bit. Not a ton of momentum. What do you got to say to that?
Hey, just get in. Did the Angels win? Did the Cardinals win? Did the Marlins win? How many wild card teams got in and won the playoffs? You know why? Because they had to fight the hardest. Bag in. Every wild card team backs in because they didn't win a division, if you want to go that route. But they have to fight even harder because every single game for the last month was a playoff game. If we lose, we're 1 game back. We win, we tie. We win 2, they lose 1, we're 1 game up. Every single game is a series. They just played a long series, a 20-something, 28-game series. Now you're just abbreviating that. So we're battle tested in that regard that we have to win. That last night was a must-win game. They proved that they can play in a must-win game against a first-place Houston Astros team who has 5 wins or something like 4 or 5 wins like that.
104, right?
The way Nola went out there and showed I can pitch in the big game. Give me the rock when it's a must-win game. Kyle Schwarber, get him off the board. Mike Stott and Schwarber again. Hey, say what you want to. And if you're the team that got to the playoffs, you don't even care. Tell us again how we got in. Back door. Oh, but we're in.
We're in, right? We're in, right? It still counts.
Qualify for October, and then you find a way to win a World Series.
Well, they looked like they were having a really good time last night. Now, here's something a little bit new for Phillies in the playoffs. What's it going to be like for these guys going on the road when you don't have a home game in sight? What do you think it's going to be like knowing that you're going into this series and you're not going to have a home game?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I personally, I love going on the road. As a team, we love going on the road because we wanted to silence your crowd as soon as possible. There is no better feeling than going on the road and playing in front of a silent stadium full of people. You look up, it's 50,000 people, and all they're doing is whispering. You know
You hear
how
a
good
pin
that
drop.
feels? You know, I mean, that is great. It's like we punched you guys in the mouth and you couldn't punch back because you were on the
Jimmy, I
floor
don't
already.
know how that feels, but I know you do. I know you do.
But it does. Don't get me wrong. Look, playing at home is great. There's a different energy. It's the energy of keep going, keep going, keep going. On the road, it's the same energy, but it's coming in a reverse form that they want you down so bad, and it's like you're just building on top of that. The more you boo, the better and stronger I am. The more you give me, the more I'm going to focus on taking it out on the guy on the mound. And when on the other side, if you're the pitcher, the more he wants to get that batter out. He doesn't care about the strikeout. He just wants to dominate. He wants to bully. So I loved it. We always call it the Lions Den. You don't go to the Lions Den by sneaking up on him. No, you go in there and you snatch his butt out.
You announce yourself.
Yes, sir.
Energy, man. Energy. All right. You had a special relationship with Charlie Manuel. Rob Thompson, he's taken over mid-season. He's really made an impact on this locker room, it seems. How important is he to the ball club and that player-manager relationship?
He's huge. The good thing is he's been around for a while,
A long
and
time.
and as a coach, you have the freedom to talk to players. Players are going to come talk to you. They don't do that to the manager. The manager conversations are brief. One, because the manager has everybody to deal with, media, he has upper management, he has a GM, he has coaches, he has players, he has more media, and it's cyclical. It's every single day. So his time is literally limited to you get in early and you get a chance to talk to him, or you speak to him around the batting cage. That's just how it goes. As a coach, you're bouncing around, you're hitting guys ground balls. Hey, if you need extra work, you don't go to the manager, you go to the coach. So he was able to establish a relationship with these guys long before becoming a manager. Then when he gets into the position and he doesn't change, you know exactly who you're getting. Yes, he might not hit you ground balls. He may. Like I said, he's taking on that role of dealing with upper management and media and players and his own coaching staff. But you know who he is. You got to know him intimately as a person first. Now he's just a guy at the head, and you're okay with that. You can still feel like you can go talk to him. The respect level, changes just because of position, but you still know who
Right.
he is as a person, and that's what you bet on.
Rob Thompson, he's got that sauce. Does he have the sauce?
He got the sauce. I mean, hey, you've seen this. Hey, yay, that boy
Hey,
clean with it. You know what I'm talking
yay!
about? That boy clean with it. He got them in the
He is
playoffs.
clean
Red
with it.
October coming at you.
That's it. Let's go. All right. Biggest concern for the Phillies going in the playoffs. What do you have?
Uh, Consistency. Just like all year long. Their bullpen can be lights out. Their starting pitching can be lights out, and their offense can be, one of the best, scoring 5 or 6 runs a game. But they can be just as cold, and
That's
that's
it.
why they're in this position now. They'll go on a run where they'll win 5, 6, 7, 8 in a row, and then the next week they lose every game they play. And in the playoffs, that can't happen. Fortunately, you get those little breaks if you win a series. You get that break
Yep.
where we've seen teams that have come in hot, get that break, and get cold. We've been kind of, in between.
We
So
could
hopefully,
use a we could
hey,
use
you
a
know what I'm
little
saying?
break, a
So let's
breather.
let's go ahead, let's go ahead and win some games, take a break,
Yep.
and hit the reset button. So
No,
like I said, my thing is, what team is going to show up? If they're hot, they're hot, and like any team, when they're cold, they're cold. But when they're cold, it's not it's not like they're cold, but they're still winning games. They're not scoring runs, but they have the pitching staff. It all happens together.
that's the blueprint. That's the blueprint for success. Jimmy, I got to ask you from a larger view, MLB playoffs. All right, Dodgers, Astros. They're the overwhelming favorites to win it all. I'm
Yep.
wondering who's your sleeper team to make a run at the pennant from each league this season.
Sleeper team? Wow. Well, shoot, in the NL, it'd have to be the Phillies because the other teams aren't asleep. I mean, Padres have been doing their thing for a number of years. It's just the Dodgers are great. Who, like as Pedro would say, Dodgers are their daddy. You had
That's
San
it.
Francisco the previous year, but San Diego's been down there just chipping away, and they want to knock off the big brother if they have the opportunity. I think people are discounting, the Phillies. They for sure are doing so, for some of the reasons that I gave, because they haven't been as consistent. And the AL, you can't say Tampa. Nope. Obviously, Houston, nope. Toronto, nope. What about those Mariners? Those boys in the Northwest. Those
I
boys in
like
the
the boys in the
Northwest. Man,
Northwest.
when you look at it that way,
Give me a
they
little
are a
Cal
fun bunch
Raleigh.
of kids. They have a good staff. They have a
Got a good
leader.
pitching
They
staff.
have a leader that they can count on out in center field with Julio Rodriguez, who showed, although it's the
beast.
All-Star game, you're on the stage. He's expected to perform, and he did that. No batting cage in LA on that stage with the great Albert Pujols, in attendance. I would like to see what he could do and they can do on that stage. And like I said, I called before the season. I said it's going to be a rematch of '93. So we need those teams to go deep.
I really like the Toronto Blue Jays to make it out of the AL. Let's go Phillies. I'm a homer. What can I say? All right, Jimmy, we're going to wrap it up with this. We're going to do a quick rattle through 12 questions here. Little this or that. All right, J-Roll.
All right.
Here we go. More important in the playoffs, great pitching or timely hitting?
That's a messed up question.
All you got to do is you got to give me one word answer.
Hitting. Timely hitting.
DH or no DH?
No DH.
The Philly Fanatic or Gritty?
Philly Fanatic.
Pats or Genos? I'm putting you on right there. Putting you on this spot. This is the brain buster here.
Yeah, because I don't need it either. I go to Oregon.
Oh,
Oregon Steaks.
I was hoping you'd say something like that.
Oregon Steaks, yep.
All right, over or the under?
Playoffs under.
Hot dog or popcorn?
Popcorn.
Citizens Bank or the Vet?
Bank.
Justin Bieber or Tom Brady?
The GOAT.
Triple or home run?
Home run.
Halloween or the 4th of July?
Halloween.
The Cowboys or the Eagles?
Eagles.
All right. betPARX or any other sports book?
betPARX.
Awesome, Jimmy. Jimmy, thanks so much for doing this with you. Looking forward to doing with you all season long for the playoffs and more. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate Jimmy Rollins, everybody. Thank you so much, Jimmy.
Appreciate it. The Maniac, do your thing. Do your thing.
I'm doing my thing,
sauce. Man. You got to give him that sauce.
I got that sauce. You got to give him that. Yeah. Awesome, man. Thank you so much, Jimmy. Right. Doing a great job on TBS.
Thank you, brother.
All right, man. Good luck.
All right. Bye-bye.
Talk to you soon.